Hello everybody, I'm just here and welcome back to Spice and Wolf, episode 8, in which we will meet the shepherd girl a little bit more. Her name is Nora. Yeah, if that's her on the list of characters, that is, of course. But yeah, in the previous episode we've met her, so I assume in today's episode we're going to meet her circumstances, we're going to go to her village, right? Stuff like that. Maybe. We'll see. In the previous episode, Lawrence and Holo, Kraft and Holo, went to a new city, fairly barren, fairly plain, but all the, religious and devout to the god of whatever god they're worshipping here. And they went there to sell their pepper. And sell their pepper they did. Of course, the merchant was trying to scam them, right? With not even a skewed scales, but rather with the whole table or even the whole room, indeed, being just at an angle, of course, in his favor. And despite Kraft saying that, oh yes, I'm also a devout believer, the merchant still tried to scam them. Maybe a little less than he would have, a heretic, but still, Thankfully, Holo managed to figure it out. Her ears and her eyes figured out that the room is kind of askew, and she spilled some water. Oh no, clumsy little me! And with some nice little, not double speak, but kinda, they came to a conclusion that, yeah, you're gonna pay us double, and we're not gonna rat you out to whatever authorities there are. And some of that money Kraft already spent for armor, and some of it he's going to get back in, bank checks or something like that. He got armor, because they're going north, of course, and in the north there is apparently a yearly event where forces of humans venture out into the north to slay demons and heretics and whatnot. So they will need armor, they will need weapons, but of course Kraft doesn't want to, help them, spread death, so he'd rather protect the lives. That's at least my read on it. That's why he got armor. And earlier on, of course, Kraft also talked a little bit about the holy city that they might be traveling through at some point, and that they have, such luxurious things like fruit, peaches and peaches and pears and stuff preserved in honey. And of course, Holo is all about, yeah, let's go to the fucking Vatican. They might crucify me, but by God, I need some of these honeyed peaches. So that's where they're going now. And interesting thing happened is that they were stopped on the road because a couple more merchant caravans were also stopped there. And they stopped there because mercenaries. Because a band of mercenaries who are, first of all, a threat to merchants, so certainly not a particularly good guys. Second of all, they're not moving north. They're moving south, in the complete opposite direction than the yearly event is taking place. And why would they be doing that? Well, the answer is simple. All of those cities, all of those countries that sent their army up north, they're gonna be left with no one to protect them. Perfect opportunity for mercenaries to ransack some of those cities, grab whatever riches and women they want, and do as they please with them. Who's going to stop them, right? Perfect opportunity. I wonder if that's actually it, or if it's something else, maybe. Maybe one of the countries or city-states or whatever is the system here hire those mercenaries to, oh yeah, we're sending our army up north, yes, absolutely. But then they took the mercenaries to attack their neighbor, to take them over, because their neighbor also sent away an army because he thought that, yeah, we're sending our army, we're helpless, we're not gonna have any protection, but everybody around is also sending their army, so they're not gonna have anything to attack us with. Maybe some sort of like wartime politics are going on in the background. We might see what exactly is happening, we might not. I wonder if perhaps Kraft will have some role in like rebuilding effort, like all the cities that were ransacked need specific resources, and he's going to try to make some money on selling them, maybe something like that, we'll see. So one road to the city leads through where the mercenaries are. Another road to the city, a little bit around, leads through a forest packed with wolves. So nobody's taking any of those routes, except of course Kraft, because Holo is with him. And what are wolves to Holo, right? Not a problem. So they're going through the wolves. En route, they've met a shepherd girl who Holo really doesn't like. She's one of the kind of people that she really actually hates, because shepherds chasing wolves away, right? I mean, that's their job, they're protecting their flock, but of course to Holo they would be their enemy number one, the enemy number one of wolves in the first place. There's some like mysticism around shepherds. There's this like gesture that Kraft has to make to recognize that she's actually a shepherd and not a wizard or a sorceress, and she has like a specific reply, and right, stuff like that is happening there. There certainly is some like magic aura around not just the profession of a shepherd, but also her as the shepherdess. And of course Holo is very jealous. Because the shepherd girl, she's pretty, she's also, you know, a human, and she can keep the wolves away just as much as Holo can, and she's a threat. She's a threat, she's gonna take my man away. That's probably her thinking. It's going to be fun, because it really seems like we're going to be going through the lands of the shepherd, perhaps even staying in their village, if not at their place. Wouldn't surprise me. For how long, we'll see. Perhaps they will need some help with the packs of wolves harassing their flock. Maybe Holo can help them to build a rapport with the villagers. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. At least partly in this episode. So how about we watch it, right? To do it, you will need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show. And I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube, down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, cost you nothing, helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching Spice and Wolf episode 8 in 3, 2, 1, go! Yeah, there's definitely some mysticism to it. I wonder which god. Is it like the main established religion here? Or is it the main established religion but used as a proxy to the olden gods? Or is it one of the olden gods? I wonder. I wonder mostly because, again, I see a very big parallel to how Christianity came to Poland and how it changed some of our customs and beliefs, but not all of them, and how plenty of things are like used as a proxy. For example, there is a custom where after you sow the first handful of grain on the field, you put in a cross and you pour some alcohol, I believe, and you say a prayer to Holy Mary, the something. There's like fucking 70 different Holy Marys in Polish Christianism. And that's, you know, a proxy to, you know, instead of praying to whatever deities there used to be, you pray to a Christian god, but not really. You know, the custom is different. So I wonder if creating this sign and saying the whole prayer is actually something of this religion, or is it just a proxy? You know, I expected a reaction from Holo, maybe like covering her ears or something. But no, she just seems disinterested. Is this the first time for you? Probably. But we have our ways. Oh, is she going to ask to join them to help them guard from wolves? Oh, to help you go through the wolfland. Right, you have your sheep to herd. Yeah. Oh, that got her attention. Yeah, but she seemed kinda. You seem kinda desperate to be hired. I wonder why. Yes, that's true. Yeah, I mean, she is a local. Ah, okay, he knows. He realizes. Put a little bit more feeling in those words, my dude. Okay, so she's quite powerful, far as shepherds go. Mm-hmm. Oh, the dog has something on its ear? Yeah, let's not. Why not? Hiding your identity. What is then? Okay, yeah, I guess that is an issue. Probably. Okay, that's good. Three, is that the copper coins? Who's gonna take care of your flock, though? Or are your sheep just going with? Okay, so she is new to the business, so to speak. And Lawrence's crafts request to bless them is probably the first time she was met with it. And probably she got enough money in that single coin to last her for a week. Yeah, he's my man. She's listening attentively, though. So I guess his previous owner was killed by the wolves or something? Oh. Yeah, why did you want to join exactly? Okay. So what, do other villagers not talk to you, or do you just... Okay. Okay, so you don't actually want to be a shepherd. Interesting. Fight over territory, what do you mean? Shepherds fighting over territory? I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Wolves are troublesome. Yes. Oh, you have no idea. So are shepherds like nomads, basically? Wanna hire her? I mean, yeah. Depending on your, trade. Probably. She comes from an orphanage, probably run by the church. Essentially a government job. Doesn't pay the best, but it's stable at least. Yes, yes, of course. Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be a good business opportunity for her. Yeah, right? There would be plenty of merchants willing to get her, services. I don't think he's talking about that. You're not using the cauldron for anything. Playing pokey game with beef jerky. Ooh, wrong choice of words. She did not. Wolves are sly indeed. When you try. Hide your tail. You done? Yeah, there we go. Let's not. At least not of this flock. That's very far away from the city. Despite the areas immediately around it seeming perfectly suitable for herding sheep. Yeah. Okay, so she can go both ways at least. Hmm. If there are any, of course. Yes. How could she forget? The dog seems suspicious. So the city grew large enough for even the outside of the walls to be settled. Armor. Ah, taxes. Shit. Why? That's a lot. It's gonna be like, what? 1/20th? 5%? No, two. More. Yeah, 5%. I think. No, that doesn't seem right. Or maybe? Never mind. Yeah, 5%. Assuming you can sell them. Yeah, let's get the speeches. That's a big city. I really like how sprawling it is instead of just being, you know, a circle with a river going through. What's that? Baklava? Yeah, sure. Of course. Not an issue, especially not for you. Marking you with her scent, just like cats do. Yes, but you have a discerning eye, and if someone tries to scam Lawrence, then you can help. And also that, yes. If left to your own devices, you would probably get in trouble. I mean, yeah, that's a plan. Oh, you here? Those are CG ship? Sheep? Maybe. What's up? What was that look? Mm-hmm. Okay. It's good to have a place like that. Especially for someone who's basically a nomad otherwise. Oh, I guess outsiders have no entry. Still buy the bread, though. Exactly. True. I mean, online shopping, right? A necessity in this trade, after all. Okay, so this is like the headquarters. Yeah, it's a good thing he didn't bring Holo. Please don't get into trouble, Holo. You seem troubled. Hmm. Why? I guess because merchants were held by the mercenaries. And of course, cliffhanger. We wouldn't have it any other way, would we? So, things are happening, aren't they? It's just my cat. Things are happening. Something's gonna happen with Nora. I'm just not sure what. Depends on the benevolence of the church. If they're as benevolent as they claim to be, I can see the priest saying, hey, yo, Nora, you've been loyally working for us. I heard you want to be a seamstress. I'm gonna give you some money, go be a seamstress. If it's the opposite, I can see the priest saying, hey, yo, Nora, your flock is kind of small. Just give it away to another shepherd and get the fuck out. We have no use for you. Could go either way. We'll see. Or could be something completely different. Sweet honey and bitter armor. Okay, she's gonna get her honeyed fruit then. That's good. Let's watch it again, shall we? Divine protection from the spirit of the earth. Yeah, that's not very Christian. That's not very Jesus of you to invoke the spirit of the earth. Listen to God's word that whispers within the wind. Yeah, wind deity also being invoked. Spirits. This, like, tapping. It really feels to me like the exact same thing that happened in Poland is happening here as well. The church cannot completely and utterly weed out the current beliefs, so it supplants them somewhat, right? Like, you used to pray to the deity of bread. Well, now you're praying to Saint Mirabelle, the patroness of bread, or whatever, right? The cult of saints is being introduced, for example. We're changing a ritual that usually was, oh, by the power of the god of the heavens, be protected, to, oh, by the power of God Almighty, be protected, right? We're doing that sort of stuff. The ritual is still here. The beliefs are still there. The names are just changing to the names coming from the new religion. I really think that's exactly what's happening here. And it's interesting. It's cool. I like it. The shepherd guides the sheep and God guides the shepherd. The shepherd walks down the righteous path through God's providence. I really like the mysticism around shepherds here. I really like it. May I ask the shepherd we have met through divine providence to pray for the safety of our journey. Paltimis tuelo moro, luspincio tillato cul. Kind of sounds vaguely Italian. Mostly the, like, double Z, spincio, right? Pazzo. Those are very, like, Italian sounding words. Double T, that's also kind of vaguely Italian. Interesting. We have something kind of sort of similar in Poland as well. I don't know how it is in other countries, but with whatchamacallit, the is there like a single word name for chimney sweepers, right? People who wear black clothes, wear cylinder hats, like top hats, and they clean your chimney. If you see one of them on the street, you grab your any button in your clothes, then that brings you luck, for example, right? There is a little bit of mysticism around that as well. They on the day of their patron saint. They also walk door to door selling calendars. And if you buy a calendar for a current year from them, that's gonna bring you luck, bring your household luck. There's like plenty of different beliefs around them as well. And I wonder if it's the same case with shepherds, just just more, because chimney sweeper doesn't really give you a blessing. You just grab your button for good luck. But similar vein. Similar vein. She's very happy earning this coin. I really think this is the first time someone asked her for a blessing like that. She knows the entire spiel. She knows reviewed it multiple times. Maybe even played it out when alone in the grasslands. But now she actually had a chance to give someone a blessing and get payment, and she can potentially earn even more money. Yeah, she wants money because she wants to be a seamstress, apparently. Interesting. Very interesting character. She's raised by the church as an orphan. She found the dog, found the staff somewhere in the forest. She is a good shepherd, but wants to be a seamstress. Huh. Doesn't want to change the employer because the church has been so benevolent to her, but at the same time, she doesn't know any better. She doesn't know life outside of church. Maybe there are better places to be employed as. Maybe actually being a seamstress is a better fate for her. But she doesn't know. She didn't get a taste of that. She was an orphan. She was raised by the church. Church said, we need a shepherd. You're gonna be a shepherd. And she became a shepherd. That's that. Interesting. Very, like, sheltered kind of character that I have a feeling could go, like, her character arc could go in the way of Kraft and Holo, perhaps, so to speak, liberating her, right? You don't need to be a shepherd anymore. We can get you to the big city. I have a connection at that, place that makes clothes, and they need a seamstress to teach the craft, and I can get you there, and you can become a seamstress, right? Maybe something along those lines. But then again, it would be a waste for her to not be a shepherd, to put the staff in the corner, right? And just sit by a loom. I wonder where her story goes. You are cuter, of course. She could lead us to new business opportunities. Yes, absolutely. I thought that the business opportunities might be that she brings them to the village where she hails from, and the village is known for sheep. So Lawrence has a contact now, someone he knows that provides wool. So maybe he can buy wool at a little bit of a discount, or maybe exchange wool for some different stuff like that, right? And he can get another pin in his network of people he knows, and he can benefit from that. But apparently she doesn't hail from any village. She hails from the Vatican. It's not like I'm being swayed by her beauty. After all, you're much cuter than that, yeah. You pass, but just about barely. More conviction next time. She would easily keep normal wolves at bay, even if they attacked all at once. So she's a very good shepherd as well. I wonder if maybe her story instead will be about finding joy in being a shepherd instead. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see. Excellent dog handling skills indeed. So young, I fear how much she will grow in the future. Yeah, she will grow a lot. If you hire her, we will be traveling together. Right, yeah. He really wanted her to say, oh, I just wanted us to travel alone together. Yep. He really did wish to hear that. But yeah, ultimately Holo is fine with it. I'm glad that she's not unreasonable. I'm glad that it's not like, unreasonable hatred, but, just wariness, and, right? 43. We'll pay an additional fee if you find any wolves. Nora Arendt. 4 years, a shepherd. Anik is the reason I became a shepherd. Okay, so it's not that the church ordered her to become a shepherd and gave her the career. Rather, she lived in a shelter for the poor, probably run by the church, and then randomly she just found a dog with the staff in his mouth, and mountain bandits or mercenaries, probably. Kind of ties into the mercenaries traveling south. I wonder if it's actually something that just happens, right? As the armies march north, mercenaries march south, ransacking nearby villages, killing people in the forest, getting what they can from them. And that happened to the previous owner of Anek. Probably. He had the staff in his mouth and was cowering under a small cliff on a hill. Probably grabbed the only possession that he could of his master and ran away. First time a shepherd offered to guard me on my journey. Yeah, because she needs money. Because she wants to become a tailor. Not a seamstress, a tailor. Okay. Yeah, she would earn more money. And she is having trouble being a shepherd even, because safer areas have been already taken by other shepherds. Interesting that there's like a war among shepherds for territory. Right? Like, you'd think that every shepherd like has their own territory, and since she's herding the sheep for the church, you'd imagine that the church would have its own territory and she would be herding her sheep there. But it really seems like the shepherds are just left to their own devices. You get a flock, and that's it. If you find a place to herd them, if you find a place for them to graze, good. If you don't, well, shit. You're gonna have trouble. Interesting, very interesting that shepherds seem to be so nomadic here. It's not to this degree, but kind of sort of a thing in among like Polish Highlanders, I guess, where mountains don't have a lot of grass, a lot of stuff for sheep to graze on, but there are some plateaus in the mountains where the grass grows, and they are sometimes far away from the village. So the Highlanders go there and graze their sheep there, and sometimes, they have to stay the night or however long, so they have their little huts and they actually stay there. So it's kind of like semi-nomadic lifestyle when they go back to the village as winter comes, and sheep are getting placed in barns, right? Stuff like that. But only out of necessity. They need to venture far away to find anything grazable for their flock. This is just grasslands far as I can see. So is there really any need for her to travel this far if there is perfect grass right outside of the city gates that doesn't seem to be particularly covered by other people's flocks either? I wonder. Wolves are very troublesome indeed. And he even doubles down. I really like the chemistry that Kraft and Holo have. I really do. Settle down for the day, right? Settle down early, to go to sleep, to wake up as the sun goes down, to guard the sheep at night. Makes perfect sense. You're skilled enough to handle a lot more sheep. I'm happy with for any small amount of work. Yeah, she's gonna take what she's given, basically. She doesn't desire more. She doesn't have like that basic desire, basic drive for more, right? Like, she has a dream of being a tailor, but it's just a dream. right? She could probably get more sheep to earn more money, but she doesn't feel like it. She could probably change an employer to someone who pays her more, but is it really, a good thing to change an employer, right? Everything that she wants to do stays in the realm of just dreams, kinda, and wants, rather than having the drive. Just like Kraft, for example, has a drive to get his store, and he's gonna buy cheap, sell expensive, buy cheap, sell expensive, until he can buy a store. He has a drive that pushes him to do better and better and more and more. She lacks that. And I wonder whether she will find solace in that and she will grow happy about her current state, or will she learn to desire? We'll see. Why not change her employer? Yep. Yeah, as a merchant, he bases everything on loss and profit, and she just doesn't know. She just doesn't know. She comes from an orphanage for the poor. This is her very first employer. She doesn't know anything else. She's employed by the church. It's steady work, essentially government job. The church entrusted their sheep to me. I have a feeling it's going to change somehow. Either she gets more sheep to herd, or she gets her sheep taken away from her. Could go either way. Yeah, the church will exist as long as God doesn't abandon us. I wonder how much of Kraft's seemingly devoutness is real, and some of it is just him playing into what the people he talks to expect of him. Right? He meets someone devout, so he himself becomes devout to find that connection. If he finds someone who's not particularly religious, Kraft isn't particularly religious either. Just to try to find that connection. I wonder which side of him is the true one. He only became this devout ever since religion became a thing in the show, I noticed, right? His very first signs of any sort of devotion were when he met the religious merchant, right? And he proclaimed himself a man of God, yada yada yada, to not get scammed, or get scammed less at least. It's a tool in his repertoire, I feel. I could be mistaken though, because he could very easily just pass by Nora instead of asking her for a blessing, if he doesn't believe in those blessings, for example, but he didn't. Or was it a calculated move to create a relationship with her and get to know a shepherd, get into the wool industry, right? Maybe. I'm not sure. He essentially says what his listener wants to hear. To a degree, at least. Alter the merchants, I know in Ruinhagen about you. Yeah, it's going to give her a lot of work moving people through a wolf-infested forest. Even if she loses her flock, that's also cool. Even if the church decides to, I don't know, expel her or whatever and take her flock away, she still has the skills. She still has the dog. She still has the staff and the horn. Those are her possessions, I think. She can still just be a guide. Right? Shepherd without a flock, or rather, shepherd whose flock are travelers. Oh, that would be interesting. That would be interesting if travelers and merchants kind of sort of became her flock that she protects from the wolves. I wonder. Yeah, of course, Holo is all about her tail. This is nice. Pokey game with beef jerky. And yeah, she's jelly. She's so jelly, especially after those words. She disliked speaking with you. What? What? She disliked speaking with me? Yeah, that's how you know that he cares about how Nora sees him. I'd miss the pleasure of experiencing someone's affection for me grow. Yeah, he can be a smooth talker, indeed. He really has a way with words, picking them precisely and exactly as needed. I mean, that's one of the basic skills of a merchant, isn't it? And the bad mood is gone indeed. It worked. Some raw sheep would be nice every once in a while. No doubt, but, you know, not of this flock, perhaps. If we find some other flock that has like 200 sheep in it, they're not even gonna notice, but let's leave Nora alone. Nora is a friend. Nora has our protection. 43. That's more than 43. I wonder how much is it? 2 silver coins. Silver 20 coins? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. And yeah, it's an investment. If I become acquainted with a skilled shepherd, I might gain some surprising money-making opportunities when trading wool. Indeed, I like that Kraft seems to be going for... well, not necessarily going for, but he notices worth in things that don't have worth yet, but have potential to generate worth. Right? Like, he was the merchant that took interest in wheat that was produced in Yarei's village. He was the first one to give it a shot, and he came out on top on that. Now he takes interest in Nora. He notices her skills, notices that she's a good shepherd, and sure, she might not be of huge import right now, but in the future, right? Who knows? Maybe she makes some associates with merchants that she travels with, and she can move or give those contacts to Kraft next time he travels through. Maybe she can tell him about, you know, what the other merchants are talking about, right? There's potential. It's an investment indeed. Are you only able to guard people going through the road? No. As far as Kasrata, Poroson, and Lamtra. Very dangerous forest, but she can travel through it, no problem. Yeah, good chance of finding customers, so spread the word, Kraft. While you're at the merchant guild or whatever it is, spread the word about her. She needs that. She needs a job. She needs work like that. And of course she didn't forget about the honey peaches. Yeah, the dog is suspicious. What is it on its ear? It's like an earring thing, but why? I know. It kind of looks like... it kind of looks like sometimes people make their personas as a... not a humanoid, not an anthro character, but rather like a dog or a cat or whatever, and yet they still give them traits of humans. So you have like a dog like that, but it's wearing clothes and it has pierced ears. It kind of looks like that, but not like in a bad way, just immediately, you know, invoked this sort of a association in my head. All it's missing is like a human hair, right? You know what I'm talking about. You must know what I'm talking about. A feral animal, but with human hair and human eyes and human piercings and human clothes. That's a big city. So big it's spilling beyond the walls even. Lots of merchants. Lots and lots of merchants. Armor from Poroson. Why are you... Why is it surprising? Why are you surprised that he brings armor from Poroson? Are people from Poroson perhaps unwilling to sell armor? And Kraft was able to procure it only because he had a nice hook for the merchant? Maybe. Maybe. Taxes with cash or actual goods? I wonder which one would have been cheaper. Pay with one set of armor over there, and that's a good choice apparently. That's a wise decision. Why? Would paying with money cost him more? Or... I don't know. Is armor from Poroson rare? A lot of the armor should be imported from Poroson, but apparently it's not. So yeah, why? It has to have a meaning of some sort, doesn't it? Yeah, another weird reaction to armor from Poroson. Huh. What could it be? It has to have something to do with the Northern Campaign, and it has to have something to do with the mercenaries traveling south. I just don't know what. I wonder. I wonder what's going on here. Yeah, we just need to sell them and rake profits. Nothing could be easier, right? That's a lot of very green fields. I wonder how many of them are actually like wheat and stuff, just green and not fully matured yet, and how many of them are like places to herd sheep and other cattle. Because there seems to be a lot of grassland, perfectly flat, perfectly suitable for grazing grassland, and yet Nora has to resort to herding her sheep in wolf territory. Something doesn't check out here, and I wonder what is that. I don't know. My first thought is some sort of a baklava. Another thought would be whatchamacallit? Fuck. Forgot the English word for it. Let me translate it right quick. Translator. In Polish it's daktyle, but in English it is dates. Oh, well, that's kind of similar. Another thought is some sort of dates wrapped in dough, like spring rolls, but made of dates and sweet. Maybe something like that. Could be some sort of a croquet. Could be some sort of a spring roll. I don't know, cabbage roll, maybe even. I'm not sure. Some food, in any case. Nice and lively town, yeah, but you show your ears and you get fucking burned at the stake. So, keep your wits about you. You can't let your guard down there, yep. And not even Hull or anybody. Even if Kraft gets into trouble here, he's just gonna be branded a heretic and burned at the stake. Probably. Don't get into trouble with the knights and the mercenaries. That's an important distinction, that mercenaries can also be trouble. And the dude in the bottom left in the green like coat or whatever it is looks like from Jean Javier's animation. And I can't unsee that. Yeah, marking you with her scent. Yeah, what's the point of you coming with? So that he can not just protect you, but, you know, stop you should you have any thoughts about doing something unnecessary. I'll take you in my mouth and escape out of town. And here comes Nora. I heard your daughter has recovered from being sick. That's just whatever talk. Interesting that the symbol of their religion is like a whoop thing, and not that arrow inside of a circle that Nora drew. That's another thing that tells me that whatever ritual she was performing is not originally of the church. It's something dating way back when, but has been modified by the church to not anger the local populace too much, to not rip away their usual customs completely, but to still give them that, you know, churchy flavor. He brings her flock back. I'm having a hard time reading his face here. It could be a face of contempt. It could be a face of whatchamacallit, of like, oh, poor you kind of thing. If it's the former, then he might decide to take her flock away and she will have no choice but to be a guide. Or maybe join Lawrence, maybe join Kraft and Holo in their travels for a while. And if it's a look of pity, then he might be willing to give her more work. Or he might be willing to send her to learn the craft of tailoring. I don't know. We'll see. There's gonna be something happening here for sure. Trading house. Yeah, it's a house that you belong to. It's your own merchant guild. It's a specific merchant association. There are different associations. I'm a part of one of them from my homeland, and this is home away from home. And you're not getting in until we're married. Calling it now. Eventually, they will enter this building together because they're gonna be married. Calling it now. And that's gonna be like a big scene, right? All this time we say, oh no, you can't enter with me because we're not married, because only we, the merchants, and our immediate families can. You're not family, you can't enter. And eventually she enters. And that tells us all we need to know. Right? Maybe. I know. It would be nice, I think. Were you not planning to take me in and show me off to your fellows? My homeland's wedding celebration is pretty rough. I guess drinking until morning. And in exchange you get some sweet bread, and that's enough. I was about to say that it's a very dead-looking place. But maybe it's because it's not early enough. All the meetings that were to take place, all the trading that was to take place already took place, and people are now in the city center selling their wares instead of sitting here. Maybe. Looks like an incompetent merchant is visiting. Anyone who comes around this time isn't serious about making money. Yeah, probably exactly what's going on here. But, perfect retort, a great merchant can make money without collecting any dust on his shoes. Only dirt on him being ink stains on his fingertips. Running around the market all day long is what third-class merchants do. Indeed, and you're above that. The son of the Rowan Merchant Association. And yeah, he really had the good sense to not bring Holo here. Even if she could get in, he probably shouldn't have brought her in. A lot of, embarrassing details that his father knows. Like, he would if photography was a thing, he would be the one to pull out an album of Kraft's childhood photos and show them to Holo. He's the kind of a person. Cool. Jacob Tarantino, of those Tarantinos? Welcome home. When we saw this shot on the outside, my thoughts immediately went, what is Holo getting herself into? Holo is outside. We place our camera outside. What's going on? Someone's gonna bother her. Someone's gonna notice the tail. Someone has a paranormal phenomena detector and is going to detect her and give her to the church. Something's gonna happen. But no, thankfully not. Thankfully, we have a trading company that doesn't see any merchants. Probably because they all have been halted by the mercenaries and are late, if they're coming at all. And we see this random dude who has business for Kraft. Namely, there's some news from Latparon trading in Poroson for him. Latparon Trading is the place where he sold his pepper and got his armor. Yeah. What could it be? What could it be? Someone noticed that the armor he was sold is like fake, made of tin or something? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Sweet honey and bitter armor. Yeah, something's wrong with the armor. Why else would it be bitter, right? Something's wrong with it. Everybody was surprised that armor came from Poroson, and that's probably because they know that Poroson doesn't have any armor. That all of it has been sold out. So Kraft probably has just fake armor on him. Probably exactly what's going on here. Let me note it down. Where is it? Sentai, Daishikkaku, Spice and Wolf. There we have it. Armor, Craft, got, Rum. Poroson is fake or something else is wrong with it. Maybe it was armor reserved for the city guard or for the king's army, and the merchant maybe was so scared that he got into the predestined stash and got the armor to not be outed for his scam, or right? So something's wrong with the armor, and I wonder what. That's the episode, though. That's the end of it. Cool episode. I liked this a little bit more slice of lifey, I guess, episode. Just, good old traveling, not even any trading, no big things happening, nothing like that. We're just going to the next city, we're meeting some people, we're talking, just that. It was fun. I had fun. It's interesting how quickly this show made me care about Nora. It made me care about Nora from the very moment that she got her first coin and got very happy about that. From that moment, I knew that, there's something about her. She has some dream that she's collecting money for. Maybe she's being exploited by her employer. Maybe she's a pariah where she lives. There is something that makes her stutter, something that makes her wary of people, something that makes her so happy about a single copper coin. Lo and behold, there really seems to be something about her. She does have a dream, but at the same time, she's very good at what she's doing right now. She has ties with the church. I wonder if it's going to be a story of her being disillusioned with the church, or is it going to be a story of her getting more accustomed to her current circumstances? I wonder. I really, really wonder where her story goes. I'm very much interested in seeing that, and the fact that we've seen her even after separating from Kraft and Holo tells me that she will be at least partially a focus of the next incoming arc. Maybe she will have some importance to the story, some, I know, maybe merchants in Posoron will say that, Kraft, so you managed to get the armor there, well, we have another shipment of armor, could you get it back there to the front lines, because no other merchant is willing to, because there are mercenaries, there are wolves, but you got there. So, could we ask you to do that? And thanks to... he doesn't really need help from Nora, but he could do that seemingly through Nora's help and have a, excuse to pay her money and spread the word about her, right? Maybe something like that. I wonder. I really wonder where her story goes. It's interesting because I can't see her becoming a tailor, because it would be a waste of her shepherding ability. But I also can't bear the thought of her having to give up on her dream. It's interesting. Ideally, she would have like a portable loom or something, and she would be making clothes while watching over the sheep. but I don't think that's particularly possible. There's probably a lot of time free during winter when she can't bring the sheep out to graze and only needs to give them food a couple times a day and water, and maybe shear them and maybe milk them. But the rest of the time she could maybe spend tailoring? I don't know. I'm not sure. I really grew to like her though, and I really want to see where her story goes for sure. Anything else about this episode? I don't think so. I really liked the time spent with Nora. I really like her as a character. I really want to see her succeed in whatever it is that she wants to succeed. I really like the tidbits of, I believe, the like pagan rituals and pagan beliefs getting skewed by the church. That's a very nice touch. I love the interactions between Craft and Holo, but that's basically a given. That's like the main selling point of this show, isn't it? And I wonder what's the deal with the armor and the mercenaries. Something's amiss. Something's wrong. And I wonder if it's going to get Craft into trouble, maybe. Maybe someone's gonna notice that, yeah, the armor you sold us is made of tin. You tried to scam us. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see about that in the future episodes. But right now, I guess that's gonna be it from me for today, but maybe you guys have something more to add on the topic of this episode. If so, say so in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that? No spoilers, please, I beg of you. Spoilers can go to my Discord here, also in the description below. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to be notified of future videos, not only Spice and Wolf, but also Yuuki, Yuuna, Sentai, Daishikkaku, Kaijuu number 8, Unnamed Memory, Kaito Otome, plenty others coming in the future. Click the bell to be notified of future, to be notified of when I go live, because I stream sometimes. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube down below. On Patreon for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Yuuki, Yuuna, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and place in the credits. You can also support me directly on YouTube through memberships, super thanks, super chats, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys, do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Without a Net, Zerene, Yuki, Ala, Ishtamu, Dr. Bot, Akamaser, Marsh, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to pay an armor worth of taxes.